everybody, it's Greg again from Heck Yeah, You Can Cook, and today we're going to make one of my specialty dishes. It's really not hard, but something I discovered from my wife. She's gluten intolerant, so I'm using some flaxseed, making a coating and roasting turkey breast, and it comes out really good. Some turkey tenderloin, sweet, a little spicy, tender, and juicy. Great meal, one of my one dish wonders here that you make in your whole. Hey everybody, before you get started today, make sure you preheat your oven to 400 degrees. We're going to set that on the baking setting. The tools that you're going to need today, now you're going to need a good knife, a good kitchen knife. There's some chopping to do, and it's about 20 minutes of prep. Just depends on how fast you like to chop and whether or not you're setting up your kitchen for a YouTube chef. That takes a little bit of time. I've got a wooden spoon, a pair of tongs. And I've got what I like to do whenever I'm making with greens. I love to cook with my 4-quart dish here. I would always have one of those in your arsenal because you can spread the greens out really well. I've got my probe thermometer. I've got my cooling rack for when we're done. And the probe thermometer is important because you want to measure the temperature as you're going through the dish. I also got some paper towels because, you know, it's turkey. So, ingredients you're going to need. I've got 1.5 pounds of the pre-packaged, pre-processed turkey tenderloins that you find. This is a butterball brand. I have taken it out of the package. I've patted it dry. I rinsed it, and I got a paper towel just because with what we're doing and coating it, I like to make sure I give another pat before I put it into the bag. I forgot a tool. You don't have to do this. It's environmentally probably not the best thing, but it makes your life a lot easier. I use a plastic bag to season with. You're going to need 20 ounces of potatoes, and you're going to need a large apple, red apple. You're going to need 3 cloves of garlic, and I have sliced this garlic right here. Okay, it's rather thicker cut, probably about 1 centimeter to 2 centimeters, because it's going to add a lot of flavor. It's also going to be on top of the turkey. I've got 5 of the baby sweet bell peppers, 6 of them actually, and I have just coarsely cut those up. You can use 1 or 2 bell peppers depending on your taste. I've got a pint of grape tomatoes. We're going to put those in. And I've already mentioned the apple. I have got 3/4 cup of flaxseed right here, and this is the flaxseed that's already been ground up. I've got some olive oil spray that we're going to use. I've got a 1/2 tablespoon of salt, and I've got 1.5 tablespoons of New Mexico chili. Now we're going to do a 2-part with this, so we're going to do some sprinkling and we're going to do some putting in the bag to season everything. Before we go any further, let me show you the potatoes have to be very finely chopped here. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you how we cut this. Now I go across, depends on the size of the potato, and I'm looking for pieces about that big. Okay? Come in, come across and down. That's the kind of thickness you want. If it gets a little too thick, come back across it. We don't want to make these very big because they're not going to be cooking for that long, and the turkey doesn't take as long as it takes to roast a potato. We'll do the other one. And once again, the same thing goes for the apple. You're going to want an apple piece here, and I've got a whole apple. I quartered it, got the core out. Just kind of go across like so, and come back. A little bit bigger in bite size. These, of course, don't need as much cooking time, but you want them to be able to release as much flavor around the entire dish. And that's why you do them in that size. And come back here. I do have 2 pounds of kale greens. Now I cheated on the kale greens. These are already like chopped and processed, washed and clean. Save yourself a little time with this. This is 2 pounds, and that's what we're going to be putting into the dish first. You move the dish over where you can work with it. Now you take the greens, and this is an extremely difficult task. You spread it out. Now, you may not use all the greens. All right, now this bag comes in 2 pounds, and it usually takes about 1 pound. And so what I like to do is once I get that to that level where I can push down and it's not coming out of the top, I just take the rest of the greens, I'll put them in a bag, and I'll put them in the refrigerator and use them later on during the week. So it's about 1 pound in total of the collard greens. Now we start adding things to here before we deal with the turkey. Now you take your potatoes and you work all of them across and in. And this is where I take about half of the garlic. This is my daughter Claire. I'll cut this part out. So you sprinkle the garlic through, and now we take the bell peppers and put all those on top as well. And the same for the tomatoes. You can see already the colors you're going to have in this dish. Just about half. And now the apple. Now I know it looks like a lot, but that kale really cooks now. And I'm taking the best tools ever used for cooking. Just kind of work it through. Make sure it's evenly spread out. You've got most of the kale kind of tucked in there. That's ready to rock. What I like to do now is I take some oil. Now in this case, I know you said we were going to have some regular olive oil. This is actually infused. It's simply Divine Oil and Wine, and they're on the internet.com. If you're in Greenville, you can go to the store. And this is the Madagascar black peppercorn. I like just to drizzle a little bit of that around, adding some flavor. Now that you've added a little bit of the oil, a pinch of that salt that you have, maybe two of the tablespoon and a half New Mexico chili. All that's done. This part is finished. We're going to focus now on the turkey. Now, I like to give another little pat, just to make sure it was as dry as possible so we adhere well. Taking your magic plastic bag, take your 2/3 cups of the ground flaxseed, put it in. The rest of the chili powder, and the rest of the salt. Hardest thing you'll do all day. Shake, shake, shake. Before you do that part, make sure it's nice and tight. You can just sprinkle this on and, I don't know, just makes a mess. Flaxseed everywhere. Come over toward this, take this turkey, put it in, peel it up, and roll it like you're doing compost. Ta-da! Do the next one. You may have noticed that some of it's not as evenly coated. Not a problem. You have a little extra. Don't sprinkle and pat. Taking your spray olive oil, light coating. Turn it over. Same again. Now that we've sprayed it down with the oil, before we insert the probe, I take those last little slices of garlic and I add those to the top. This adds a little bit more flavor. Now we'll insert the probe. That deepest part, put in the oven. We're going to come back when it hits 170 degrees. I like it to be 170. You can do 165. In my past experiences, I don't think it is cooked as well. So we're going to go to 170. The thermometer is about to go off, so get your tongs, get your plate, and get your wooden spoon. I'll be doing a little work in just a second here. There you go, everybody. You hear it popping and roasting. Smells so good. What I like to do here is I just take this off. We're going to set it aside. Like that. Now I maybe take my spoon here. I'll hold it carefully. We work the moisture back through one of my one dish oven meals. Smells so good right now. Hydrate that crispy kale up. And if there's any kale that's beyond repair, well, you know, you just don't eat that one. There's usually enough moisture to take care of this. It is really amazing how much moisture for something that has been cooked that is green will take right back up and soften right back up. There you go, folks. You have your flaxseed encrusted turkey, and it was cooked on a bed of potatoes, tomatoes, kale, and of course a little bit of apple. What I'm going to do is I'll show this plated. We'll allow it to cool for about 10 minutes. I'll slice it. All right, there we go. Everyone have a wonderful day.